Anthony Moreland is on tonight, our tech genius, and my adopted son. So, and not only is he, everybody, such a great servant leader. This man actually got to ride around in Salt Lake City. Well, actually, it was Park City with Steve Swartz in his super cool car. But welcome tonight to the Superstars of Business call. On this call, if we try to highlight people who have had success in business. And if you're a brick and mortar person like I was a brick and mortar business person, kind of like a business snob. I wish I had met Steve Swartz way back when, but my husband and I started our business 6 years ago. And we have on tonight some network marketing professionals who are taking a look at us, kind of looking under the hood. Some of you may be on because it's a favor to a friend. You are really going to thank that friend. So, last few weeks we've had the chairman of the board on. We've had the CEO on. We had Rick Redford, who is the president of everything, on. And but it's one thing to have the big guns on, but how do you make it happen? And now we have the amazing Steve Swartz. And for those of you who don't know, Steve was in from the very beginning. He is, for those of you who are coming from other network companies, you might call him a master distributor. He is a master distributor. He is a double Founders Club member in both Europe and the US. So what does that mean? I paid attention. I had a training from Steve today. Founders Club is basically, not only is he a distributor, he is also an owner. And the thing is that's available to every one of us. We can earn our way to being one of the owners and having a say in how the company is run. And he represents us, the field. And so thank you, Steve. He is also a power ranker. What does that mean? That means he makes a boatload of money in multiple markets. And this is what I love about Steve. He is a doer. He is a guy who says, make it happen. I've had the honor and the privilege of sitting down with him. And every time I come away just because he's a wealth of knowledge. He's inspirational. His background is, he was, kind of love him because I'm married to a guy who is and
don't go into it too much. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. So.
Oh, you're going to talk about it? Okay, well then I am just going to go.
So, and if everyone's asleep, that's their problem. I guess it's.
Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to you, Steve, because nobody knows how to do it better than you do.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure somebody does. Let me see here. Stop.
Oh, I don't think so. You're the man.
Well, hold on a second here. Are you guys admitting people in the waiting room and all that stuff?
Yes, we are. So Anthony is, handles all of that and keeps us safe.
Oh, Anthony's the man. Yeah, I love that dude.
I mean, he's the man, isn't he?
I'm just a guy in a hoodie. All right. Because I didn't want to, I put this on as dressing up instead of a t-shirt. Sorry. It's the way it goes. So, hey, everybody, how are you guys doing? I'll take off my glasses. I don't really wear those other than to look at my computer screen. So, Eava, thank you so much for having me out here. You guys all, hopefully you're doing awesome this evening. And this is me in a suit. And that's why I take pictures of it, because I don't wear those too often. But I was in the military. I'll talk a little bit about that. I kind of have a brand that I do. It's called Military to Millions. But really, it's just a way to really talk about how I left the military and was able to become very successful in a home-based business with no experience at all. And all those titles and stuff, I'm not a master distributor in ARIIX. There's one first distributor, that's Tim Sales, also a military veteran. And then we all got started back a few years ago. But I'll cover all of that stuff here right now. So this is me. I don't know, I'm not trying to show off, but I guess I am a little bit. Since 2003, I've been full-time in a home-based business. I'll talk about how that all went. And I normally don't pose in front of my car, but I was actually selling that car. And the guy goes, and I have my buddy who's a professional photographer. I was like, dude, I know I'm not dressed up really good, but like, take a picture of this thing so I can have some memories. And so because I've upgraded my car, I'm hanging out with some teenagers there. My kids I'm in the middle there. My son's on the right. The big dude's going to play Division I football. He's huge. And then my daughter, one of my daughters, Samantha, is the redhead, and that's her friend Megan. And I took them a couple of weeks ago, back in late July, to pick up this car that I really wanted forever, which is the AMG G63. And you know, through all of this stuff, I've been able to do this and be able to get these types of vehicles. Back in the day, why I like the M car, because when I was a lieutenant in the Army, I test drove. And if you don't care about cars, I get it. I mean, I'm not a huge car person, but I do like a couple specific things. And I remember driving the freaking M3 that cost more than I was making a year in the Army. So I was like, man, I want to get one of those. And so for the last 20 years, yes, I'm now 50. When I got in the military at 30, I ended up buying different cars. First bought them on eBay, stuff like that. And it was some of the cool things that were like my side business at the time when I was still working a corporate job was able to do. So that's why I kind of show those things. Hope you don't mind. And let me just keep doing here. So I have been in network marketing, MLM network marketing for 20 years. I pretty much know all the different trainer guys. I'm in masterminds right now with 7-figure earners. With Eric Worre, my best friend. I was the best man at his wedding. Is Tim Sales. He's one of the icons of network marketing as far as explaining to people like how the business works, and then also really professional, non-hype type training that, you know, us military types with military background and coaching backgrounds, we want to have like the nuts and bolts. And, you know, this can't just be like raw sessions and stuff like this. You got to have actual real training, SOPs, standard operating procedures to follow, so then you can train more people versus, you know, training personalities, and some guy has a personality and someone doesn't, etc. So I've been around a lot, and I've seen a lot of stuff, and I've seen a lot of things that don't work, and I've seen a lot of companies come, and I've seen a lot of companies go, and I've been a part of 2 companies. My first company is now it's over $1 billion, and they've been around for like 30 years now, almost 30 years, I think now. And so, you know, it's been, so let me just turn this off, sorry. The phone is going nuts. So I just say all this to you to know that I didn't start off like some superstar, okay? Not even close. This is my family, my kids. I've got 3 teenagers, taking them, traveled around, Samantha, Tyler, Annabella, and they're now 19, 17, and 15. And they're doing great. There's my 2 dogs there. And this is my girlfriend, my best friend, Layla. She's in the UK. It's a little brutal on coronavirus stuff. What's up with that travel ban? And so we've actually met in Mexico just recently. And she's my best friend, and she's, you know, absolutely gorgeous. I don't know. I think she's blind, actually, is the deal. I'm not sure. And so through network marketing, I've been able to travel all over the place, take my kids. I coach high school football for fun because I enjoy doing it. You'll see my background a little bit, and something I love doing. But all of these pictures are all stuff I've done through my teams. That's in the Dominican Republic with the crazy hat. The one up in the top, that's the Pyrenees, and the Pyrenees mountains are in the back. That's in France. And we did a small training with like 80 people in France. It was like this winter camp. And so I said, what the heck? And I ended up in this ski town in France, hanging out, and lots and lots of fun. Been to the UK many times, and been a part of not only building the business in the United States, but also into Europe. And things are just getting going. And honestly, all of this, none of this was always this way at all. My background, my mom, she passed away last year. She was a nurse for 46 years, OR nurse. So you can imagine my mom got up really early in the morning, went to work, and, you know, she made a pretty good income. She had a master's degree. She worked her butt off, and, you know, ran surgical teams, was doing all that kind of stuff. And it was my dad's crazy job of college football, which is a absolutely crazy nightmare. It can be, because you usually move around every 4 years. My dad was a coach, then an administrator. And so it was kind of like in our blood to be around football. So we moved every 4 years. My dad ran programs at Illinois, Oregon, UTEP. I mean, there's all different types of places he was at. And so we moved around the country quite a bit. And my brothers are all high school football coaches. My brother's coached in the NFL. Both of my brothers have coached Division I college. I've coached Division III. And that was me back in the day with hair. You probably can't see it. That's called the newspaper, in case you've never seen one of those lately. And, you know, I used to be in the Friday Night Lights stuff, and that was my whole dream, to play football. But, you know, I was 5'10", so 5'10" quarterbacks don't make it always. And so after I gave up the college football dream, I reluctantly said, man, my brother was a lieutenant in the Army. I'm like, man, I'm not going to join the military. Are you crazy? I don't need to do that. And next thing, you know, here I am getting my commission. So how'd that work out? So I decided I was kind of missing a team. So during college, I went to UC Santa Barbara. It's the best 5 or 6 years of your life. Okay, that's a joke, because it's on the beach and people don't want to actually graduate. But I did graduate pretty quickly there, and became a second lieutenant, and went to Korea, was a platoon leader, tank platoon leader, M1 tanks, and then M1A1 tanks, and then did that stuff as an armor officer for 7 years on different staffs, different types of jobs, executive officers. And, you know, I had about 350 soldiers I was in charge of at one point, and, you know, 150 vehicles. And it's a, you know, you're 26. It's, you know, a lot of experience most people don't get. It was a great experience, but I started to think, you know, I don't really want to stay in the military. We were about to have a baby, and I was like, what are you supposed to do? And I decided to get out around 6.5, almost 7 years in, and I was 30 years old. And so then I started going to the job interviews, because they all recruit us officers. And I'm like, man, this is, I mean, I don't mean to be arrogant, because I'm not an anti-job or anything like that. I was just like, dude, this is boring. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I applied to the FBI, CIA. I didn't know what I was going to do. And there's all these different types of options. And so I decided to, you know, that I needed to make about $5,000 a month so that I could replace what I was making in the military. But I didn't have a really good plan for that. And I needed cash flow. And so I was always, and while I was in the military too, I was one of those guys that would like go to Tony Robbins seminars. My friends would be doing, you know, getting drunk on the weekend. I'm like, nah, dude, I'm going to the freaking Tony Robbins seminar. And I was buying infomercial stuff. I bought these, you know, I learned a little about real estate. You know, I didn't quite do a no money down deal, but I started buying properties. I bought this 4-unit apartment. I had 2 houses. And on a lieutenant salary, I mean, we make okay, but like it was scrimping and saving. And, you know, I was driving this garbage car. They don't even make it anymore. This is a Geo Metro, and like I've told everyone, this isn't a picture of my car, because when you drive a Metro, you don't actually snap photos of it. You park it around the corner and pretend it's not yours. And so I've, you know, a little upgrade to the G-Wagon from that. But that's where I was at. I drove this garbage because I was putting my money into real estate, trying to figure it out. I still wasn't really that successful at it. And when I got out, I was like, you know, okay, I got these properties, but I can't live off them. What am I going to do? And maybe you've seen yourself at crossroads. Maybe you're like, you know what, I should have planned better for this, or maybe this situation's whatever. And you're like, I got to do something. And of course, many people have read this book, but I don't think many people like actually applied what's in there. And it resonated with me because he was a military officer, Robert Kiyosaki. Was crazy. In my business in ARIIX, I've actually met the dude that hired him at Xerox. He actually joined my team. It's just wild. He was in his wedding. But anyway, I read this book, and he said, you need to own your own business. You have a job, you know, you're like a slave. Basically, I was like, oh man, that sucks, because like that's what I'm going for, a job. And so, so I didn't know what to do. I went to the bookstore back then when they used to have bookstores. This is like early, like 2000. It was like 2000, and the fall of 2000. I basically went to the business opportunity stuff, and I found this gift basket franchise. I thought maybe we could do something with that. So I bought the $3,500 gift basket franchise, and I was out delivering gift baskets to like real estate agents. I had a little script of how to call them. I mean, this whole thing was crazy, but I was actually from the military to gift baskets. I know it's kind of a weird transition. And then I bought these vending machines because my buddy put my name in a classified ad, and some New York guy called me, sold me on it. And I thought I was going to do really well. And I couldn't, half of them didn't even work. And I was chasing quarters around in my little Geo Metro and doing gift baskets. And I said, well, follow your passion. So I went right over to there's a university right by Fort Hood, Texas called Mary Hardin Baylor. And it's a Division III school. So it's a small college. and I volunteered there. So I was doing that, all these things, pregnant, I'm making hardly no money. I had some money saved up because I had sold a little bit of property, but it was going fast. And I felt defeated because I was like, man, I got to get a job. And, you know, like, what am I going to do? And I ended up getting a supervisor job working here. You know, I had friends, most of my friends had gotten corporate jobs. I had gotten out of the military. And at that point, a lot of people were, you know, would leave the military. It's just a natural progression for folks to get out after their 4 or 5 years. I stayed in a couple years longer. And then so I ended up getting a job. I worked at this building in Austin, Texas. It was a server manufacturing where they make the supercomputers or big computers. I didn't even know what a server was. I thought a server worked at Chili's and gave you, like, took your order. So I wasn't an IT person. I'm not a technical computer person. I was there to say, okay, get to work and do this. I was like, man, how's this going to work? Am I going to work till I'm 80? Oh my gosh, I don't understand it. I don't even like this at all. I remember sitting in the factory going, I got to do something better. And they actually had layoffs after about 3 weeks of me being there, and they were laying off all the people about 2 levels higher than me. You know, the positions that you're supposed to be coveted, like, I'm going to go to that position and get fired. Basically, it looked like that. And I was like, man, these folks are doing these jobs and they've been working in stuff like this for like 20 years. They're smart people, but like, they're letting all their security and freedom go to somebody else. I was like, man, I got to really work on something else. And so that's when I had read, and right before I got the job at Dell, I had read this book, Multiple Streams of Income. And he was talking about all these residual streams of income. I kind of understood that from real estate. So I was like, what am I going to do? And he happened to be in a network marketing company. I didn't know anything about. Someone had tried to get me to join Amway, and there's nothing wrong with Amway. They just tried to get me to join by, like, tricking me into the meeting. And I was like, what is this? And so, and then they tried to get me to change my electric service and all these different things. And it, you know, wasn't bad, but I don't know. I just wasn't hitting, and I wasn't ready at that time. So that was a few years before that. So when this guy here was an author, and I was like, well, he's got to be, you know, legit. I mean, gosh, if he wrote a book, he can't be messing everybody over. And so he was talking about his favorite stream of income, and it ended up being this network marketing business. And so in November 22nd, 2000, because I signed up for $50. Like, I didn't buy a pack or more products and stuff because I was like, I had bought vending machines and all these other things. And it was Christmas was coming and all of this stuff. And I was like, man, you got to get your stuff together. And so I hadn't gotten the job at Dell yet. So, you know, so once I started at Dell, I said, you know what, I'm going to start the business. So I got the business going. And you can see this. It says February 23rd, 2001. That was my first check. I think I'd been in the business like 3 months, and I made $38. Now, I wasn't depressed by that. I was like, okay, you know, I see all these other stars. I guess there's like people must be making some decent checks. And so I decided, like, my biggest problem was I was worried about what other people thought. Oh my gosh, you're in this thing, you're a pyramid, and all this. And so, like, I had to overcome my own stuff. And I said, man, if I don't start working on this. And one thing was good. I had a mentor that was making multiple 6 figures. And at that time, to me, $300,000 a year was like major, major money. It still is today, really big money to be making, by the way. Still is really good. Okay, but like at that point, I was making like 60 grand at Dell, right? And my mentor doesn't have a job. He makes 300 grand a year. He's got 6 kids, and he's doing. I'm like, wow, like, I gotta just, like, whatever, man. I gotta get on this train. Like, so I just stayed in his hip pocket, and I learned. And I got people started with nutrition, weight loss, and I got people going on that. And it was something that took off. And while I was doing that, I was commuting to work every day. I was going to manage a manufacturing like this. Woohoo, super motivated. Yeah, man, what I want to do when I grow up is work there. Not at all, ever, right? And but I, you know, I wanted to. And what really struck me was about 6-7 months in, my daughter's now going to go to daycare. Like, we had the baby, daughter's going to go to daycare, and I'm like, man, this is all because you didn't have a good plan. And so I got really motivated, and I got my daughter out of daycare after 1 week. I started making money. I started focusing, and I stopped worrying about what people thought of me that I didn't even know, right? I think we all are held back by that in some place, right? So I just focused. I followed one course until successful. I got rid of my gift basket thing. I got rid of the stupid vending machines. I gave them my neighbor and said, you can have them, just don't ever tell anybody it was me. You know, I just got all these distractions. I was also a because I would make $500 in a weekend. I was teaching officer candidate school in the National Guard, you know, after having served active duty. And I was like, man, this is lame too. I don't want to do this anymore. And so all of those things, I started getting rid of all my distractions. I stopped watching all the football games. I stopped going to the movies, and I stopped hanging around with people, frankly, that were not on the same path as me. It's a little brutal to do that, but like, I was like, I got to go here. I love where these people are at, but they talk about stuff that like, I don't want to go and where they're going. And so that's where I got really focused. I started meeting some guys. Look at that computer. That shows how old that is. And I started training people how to do what I was doing. And, you know, I didn't always know everything. I still don't know everything today. There's probably people on this call that know more than me. Good for you. Make it happen. I love it. That's the greatest thing. And this turned into this, and it turned into it on different countries. And then all of a sudden, I was like starting to make more money at my part-time business that I worked on for 2.5 years. I worked on it till I got over a 6-figure income. And I know people can go faster. I didn't know I was supposed to. I don't know. I was just moving along. We had our second child, and I basically quit my job in 2003, in June 2003. I quit my job, and I never had a corporate job or needed to at all. My kids were raised by their parents at home. And, you know, along the way, I met some amazing people like Tim Sales, and we hit it off, and I had him come train my team because I liked his non-hype approaches. And we became such good friends that he said, why don't you move to Florida? So I ended up moving to Florida, and this is us, a little sign there. It says basically the little lifeguard boys are running in the hard sand while we were in the soft sand. That's a little joke. But we would go work out, and we were talking about how to create the ideal company. I tried to get my previous company to do some things to change it, to make it more relevant, to overcome things that had happened in the media. And, you know, they just had their own mission that they wanted to do. And so what ended up happening is we ended up creating ARIIX, and I got invited to the first meeting in ARIIX. At that time, I had a residual income. I was in my previous business, I was probably right around 300 grand. You know, I wasn't the super beater, like all-time greatest, but the comp plan was also a little sucky. I didn't know that. But you learn these things as you go. I really didn't know anything about compensation plans and stuff like that, but they didn't have matching bonus like we have here. So I was at the first meetings, and all I wanted to do is give you a little history so you can see progression, right? A lot of people join a new company and it goes bye-bye because all the stuff's not ready to go. Like the ownership, the products, the rules and regulations. And so when we started, this was the first meeting I went to. We had 5 vitamins. I mean, come on, I already was selling what I thought was really high nutrition. And so we started with this, but we had an idea of this Bill of Rights where the reps could also become ownership, get ownership in the company if you built like the biggest teams and everything like that, and that they would also not just have rules where they can just change oh my gosh, I didn't think of that. Can't just change. Sorry, well, let me second here. 1 second. I hit something there. Oh boy. Let me do one thing. I'm so stupid. I ran upstairs to grab. Can you guys handle this for a second? 1 second. I don't want to.
We can most certainly handle this.
My bad.
Okay, you go. You go. See, I told you would be so excited to have Steve on here. One of the things that really stood out to me is when he said, I had to overcome my own stuff. So many times when we're looking at our business, we look at what's going on around us. But until we deal with our own issues, it's hard to build a team and help others. So I thought that was number one. Number two, he said, don't worry about what other people think. How many times have you looked back on your life and said, if I would have just done what I needed to do, instead of worrying about what great uncle, Auntie Smith, who has never built a company or never been successful, worrying about what others think rather than doing what you need to do and doing it for your needs. And here we go to the next slide. So Steve, are you back with us now?
I'm sorry about that, guys. I totally, I was run upstairs when I went to grab the power cord and got sidetracked. So that I was on like 0 battery. Um, so, so when we started, this was the first office in ARIIX on the right. Look at that. Thing's like a freaking bomb shelter on the top left. Like that's where they started. And so if you can imagine, we had to start over again. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're starting this new company. And wow. But I was excited about the vision of creating a Bill of Rights and building a company on a foundation and changing the policies and procedures. Most all companies follow the same ones, you know, and that's a big difference. There's a big difference between, there's a lot of rules inside that most people don't understand when they sign up in a company, that they're signing up an application and the company can change the comp plan, they can change the rules, they can change anything, the products, they can change anything and you have no say. And so in ARIIX, that's not the case. And I've seen it proven. And so when I first started, that's my tree there. Can you imagine the back office? That's horrific. And so we got going and we had these products and we had pioneers take all the arrows, and I wouldn't want to be one if I was you. Most of them don't survive, okay? Then we added 2 more vitamins. I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? I thought we're not a vitamin company. And so I thought we had multiple divisions. Then we brought in a shake, but it was a peach flavored shake that was gluten-free, all the taglines, all the stuff, you know, all the greatest ingredients, all that stuff, but it was still peach, okay? Just so that's where that's where we were at. And so it takes a little bit of tenacity to win out. And, you know, some of us have, the great part is that a lot of people who start in a company get really burnt out. I'm still excited. I'm excited about what's going on. This is where we first started with these weight loss drops. People started losing weight that I've known for years by taking these drops, putting them below their tongue, and then following a decent way to eat. And I mean, these were miraculous. This one was crazy. The gal's paralyzed from the shoulders down. She can move her arms, but she got in an ATV accident and she, you know, gained all this weight, you know, with medicine and depression and everything that was going on. And she didn't think it was going to work. And her cousin introduced her to it and started taking the products. And she lost 135 pounds in a year in a wheelchair. So think about that, okay? And we started, and then we changed the product to look like this, like baby diaper brown. I don't know what that is, but that's what happened. But the product worked amazingly well. And so we had to create our own training in the back office with Tim. So we had this going on. We got a water bottle. We had this other stuff happening. And we're starting to put together some products, but we really wanted to be a multiple division company. And we first started doing meetings and started training people, and whether it was online or in person. And we traveled around and did different things, and we're helping people. And, you know, we had transformed into this team. Even the original owners, there was a few that didn't make it because they just didn't fit in. They didn't fit into the quality that these owners are. And so Fred Cooper, he's the CEO. He's got a PhD in statistics, efficiency management. He was the president and basically COO of USANA. And that company at the time was considered the most efficiently run, publicly traded network marketing company. Meaning they can get things done at much cheaper than all the other companies. Not cheaper because they use cheap stuff. They get things done more efficiently. They don't waste money. And that's why they're so well recognized, and that's why it's exciting with what's happening now with the stock and all of that stuff that's happening here. So Fred Cooper's like he's now the chairman at that point. You know, he's now the chairman of the board, overall in charge of the whole company. And this team, I was just on a Zoom with Mark. He's driving his Tesla. That's why I was a little bit frantic over here at the end. We were talking about opening the business in Brazil. And all of that stuff. So it's pretty exciting stuff. And, you know, went from that little bomb shelter to like having multiple offices all over the world and having, you know, we don't just go and say we're in a country. We actually will work on it and start putting everything together where we actually will get the warehouses and everything so that things are done efficiently. A lot of companies don't run a very efficient operation, and that costs you in your compensation. That's oftentimes why you'll be in the company and then they'll change the comp plan because they can't afford to do what they've been doing, or they're doing it ineffectively, or they're buying big lavish offices. You won't see that with ARIIX. And you know, we've taken more of a 360-degree look at health overall. We have actually, there's even brands here that are going away because we're looking at things that are efficient, not efficient, and we're actually launching a whole new skincare line this next week. And there's just all of these things. And so what we wanted to do was be able to not have name saturation. See, most companies, they are, like they're known for weight loss or they're known for skincare. And you could name the name of the company, you know it. You could say any of the names of the company and you say, oh, well, that's a shakes. Oh, well, that's a cleanse. Oh, well, that's skincare. Oh, well, that's that wrinkle stuff. Or that's legal services. Or that's electricity. Or that's crypto or something, right? And we wanted to have multiple brands that you could build your business into different markets. If one brand takes a hit, it doesn't take the whole company down. And, and that's one of the things that we've been able to see here in ARIIX. And, the ones that I love to focus in on are the ones that have big impact. Nutrition, weight loss, those are huge. The skincare is also going to be a huge one. Energy levels, all of that stuff. And now we've combined with New Age to create a company that has just doubled in size. We are growing throughout the world. There's more things happening. The projections for New Age and ARIIX, the whole overall operation is to be a multiple billion-dollar company in the next couple of years. Most companies never make it to that, but we have a different philosophy. You can also get stock in the company. You can build your business in ARIIX. It's not been announced now yet, but there's going to be even incentives, and the stock's like $1.80. It's like $2. We haven't even reported the stock with the merger with ARIIX yet. So the numbers from our company aren't even in there. And this, just so you know, this is the guys who run ARIIX. They ran USANA, and they worked with Wall Street and all that stuff. They had to go brief all them. They are well respected. And so you're going to see major movement with the stock, which is a whole nother way for you to create income. Also, there's going to be incentives as you make more money in the company, as you make ranks in the company, that you'll be able to get shares of stock, different things like this that are going to be happening, which could create a whole nother bit of wealth. I will just say this to you. When I started in USANA back in 2000, I didn't have enough money to I was living paycheck to paycheck. The stock was 80 cents. Okay. I think it was $1. It got to $1. But when I was there, it was 80 cents. And by the time I left, the stock price was $2.40. They had two splits, so the price. So if you had some shares, you would have made some money. Let's just put it that way. And so that opportunity is right in front of you at this moment as well. And so this is one of the great things. Also, is the quality of the products, the little details on the ingredients, is what you're going to see inside of ARIIX. You're not going to see super cheap products. You're not going to see little skimpy things. You're going to have products that are going to have ingredients that come from organic farms in Italy, from places in Europe, from places throughout the Far East. We're going to put those products and the real ingredients inside of our products and use natural, we even have our own natural preservative that we created because no other company would do that. There's just so many different things. Current markets, this is where we're in the red, that's where we're at, and more markets to come. I'm just telling you, more and more are coming, and that is exciting. And no market is, just taken and someone owns it all, not even close. And there's a lot to be offered right here in the good old US of A, North America. Things are popping. I was in Europe, we went from like $10,000 a week in sales. Now we're doing 2.5 to 3 million a week. The US is doing quite well now as well. And, as we've grown the company in different ways, like different brands and things, there's more and more opportunities. Marketing has gotten a lot better, so many different things. And so these were the sales of just ARIIX. And, we got up to like 230 million last year. Now combined with the New Age, we're like over 500 million in sales. And we have some other acquisitions coming. But here's the deal. The driver of the company is ARIIX. The driver of what's happening, the hot hand that's developing everything is the products that do this. The products that transform people, right? Somebody that can go from, 220 pounds to 135. My guy Hannibal found me on Facebook. I didn't know him. And he had been in like I don't know, 3-4 different companies, trying all their weight losses. You just name the companies he was in, and was a product type person. But he looked like this on the left, and he let himself go, and he was a new dad. And over about 6 months, he went from 263 down to 190. And he did it mostly without exercising. I told him, don't work out crazy in the beginning. He lost 60 pounds in I think it was 45 pounds in 60 days. And he just kept going. And so now they even made videos about him and stuff. And this is what you're going to see from ARIIX and from the whole company here, is that you're going to find first-class people that will do this kind of stuff. And so we'll get results. Our skincare gets results, massive results. And we've moved up the charts in the top 100 direct sales companies around the world, to number 35 last year. We're already moving up now with our sales. And we believe we'll be in the top 10 in the next, probably in the next year and a half. And that's just really what's happening. We have a good time. You can see that's me with my team over in Europe. We celebrate people's success. They work hard. We work hard online, offline, and then we throw amazing parties. Like we had this huge party in Italy. Everyone dressed up as like Romans, and it was fantastic. And it was a first-class event. People will never forget that event, and we're just going to keep doing more and more. And if you get a chance to come to a party at ARIIX, it's not some big, kegger thing, but it's just an amazing, classy event. And that's awesome. So like they mentioned, I'm a founder. What does that mean? That means that someone on this call right here, can get ownership in the company where they're going to share and give you shares of stock, going to give you things in amounts that would be hard for you to just buy yourself, and which can help you grow your wealth, help you also make decisions. Some of the things, if you've been in network marketing before, some people get terminated unfairly from their companies. I could actually overturn a termination as a founder. No company will let you do that in network marketing. And so we have to vote off on anything that changes in the rules and regulations. Hey, anything that's an enhancement, like we actually made the compensation plan better. And I had to sign off on that. If we didn't agree, then we couldn't change it. Okay. And so that's, this is a whole different situation with this. And, I've traveled around the world to get to you guys. I've been all over the place doing this, mostly from my house, mostly in my hoodie, mostly hanging out, mostly driving around, having fun. I treat the business like this because now, I've been full time, and I can tell you that there's a big difference in network marketing income than a traditional business, a job income. It's just way different. And, let me just share some stories. This is Stefan. This is up in Quebec, Canada. He and his wife, Claudia. And I've been to their house. It's amazing. Stefan learned how to speak English by listening to trainings from Tim Sales. He didn't even know what he was talking about. He was just repeating the words. And he's growing a global business. And he didn't have lots of success prior to ARIIX in network marketing. He had a traditional business. They actually rented out snowmobiles, boats, and stuff like that up on this lake town up in Quebec. And now he's a multiple six-figure, heading towards seven-figure earner. This is Vinny. Vinny used to work as an admin in this little town in France as a hospital admin, making probably 30,000 euros, which is about $35,000, $40,000 a year. And through network marketing, she was able to get out of that in a few months. Then she found our company, and she went from like a $5,000 to $6,000 a month earner to she makes well over 30 grand a week. Okay, I'm not trying to make income claims. I'm not saying you will, but her level where she's at, and she's 30 years old, and she's awesome. Those are my kids with her family there, and we've been to her house, hung out with her, and just dynamic type people. Paulo was in a network marketing company that we probably all heard of for 27 years, and they basically changed the rules, sold the company, and really weren't even very nice to him, which is crazy because his team in Italy was doing 120 million in sales just in Italy. And they searched for 1 year. They didn't want anyone to pay him to join. We don't pay people to join, just so you know. We don't do that. A lot of companies do that, and they pay the price because you can't buy loyalty. You get paid to join, you get paid to leave. I'm talking about big leaders that maybe could bring in a big team. We're not paying, we don't do that because we want people to be here. We're going to help you. We're going to do all kinds of things. And now the success that they're having in our company is fantastic. And, you know, they searched for 1 year, had a big criteria, and they chose ARIIX because they understood about the compensation plan, they understood about the Bill of Rights and the product quality, and then they got to know the owners and got to know who they are, and everything's been working out fantastic. This is Zach and Ashley. They just had a baby. They're from my team members here. Ashley was a six-figure earner in corporate America. Zach worked in sales and recruitment, and they're part of my team, and they're up-and-coming leaders. And they're, I don't know, whether they're early 30s, and they just make me feel old. That's all it is. So at the end of the day, they're awesome people, great people. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're so sick of hearing about this stuff, right? But you need to listen to this a little bit, okay? And, you know, we've seen all the headlines, all this stuff. We're all sick of it in one way or the other. And I'm going to tell you that coronavirus is still crashing, okay? It's still crashing because this is my dashboard. I don't know who took the picture, some, you know, crazy person, but I flashed my phone, okay? But like, I don't think I needed to worry about crashing, okay? This is, I don't know if you've ever been to San Diego. I live in North County, Carlsbad. And this was me coming out of the airplane. My daughter and I had gone to Utah, took her on a trip, and we went and did all this fun stuff with everyone in Utah. But this is 5 o'clock traffic on a Monday. Actually, it was a Tuesday afternoon. Do you know how packed? You wouldn't even want to go on that at 5:30 at night on a Tuesday. And what does this picture signify? What it signifies is there's a lot of people that are biding their time. There are a lot of people that are hurting more than you know. And there's a lot of people that are looking for opportunity, and they really need it. I'm going to tell you right now, during this time, we have seen quantum growth inside of our business. Quantum, like the amount of people that are open and looking is crazy. And because we can build it online, we're helping people boost their immune system, making them feel better. And we're offering them a way to create another income. And they're able to do it from their smartphone, from their computer. They don't have to go out and do stuff. They can if they want to, but there's so many ways to find people today. The world is literally at the edge, at the tip of your phone, right? There's just wherever you can reach out and find people all over. And so I just wanted to show you this picture because there's still a lot of opportunity, but this opportunity right now, to get started in ARIIX and get started with us, you have a long-term company. We're 10 years old, and we are going to over $1 billion right now. We're over 500 million, and we have a lot of things happening and growth happening, momentum happening throughout all markets. And this opportunity right now, if you're sitting on the sidelines, especially if you're a network marketing leader and you're not building right now, you're burning daylight, because you could make what might take you 10 years to accomplish, you could do that in a year because of the current environment. You've got a captive audience. People don't have their kids in sports right now all over the place. People are worried about their jobs, their income. And I can tell you, if you're a traditional business owner, okay, think about that. Think about going downtown, going to the restaurants. You know, now we're all where we're at. They're now putting all the patio. Like, you're basically eating on the street, right? So like they're making do, but they're not really. They're hurting. There's a lot of businesses that are hurting. A lot of people are like, man, I'm not making it. The PPP and all that stuff hasn't really taken effect. It helped for a little bit, but it's still ongoing. And the ramifications of this, and if you have been relying on a job income, you really have to get out there and think, you know what, I need another way. I need another way. I've been earning residual income in network marketing for 20 years. Okay, first it was small, and now it's 7 figures. And so I'm going to say this to you because I was an armor officer. It means tanks, and I know this isn't military hour, but I always like this quote because as crazy and as gruff as George Patton was, World War II, one of the best, probably the best general in World War II. I guess my mom's uncle marched with him through Germany. Crazy, lived through the whole thing. Guy couldn't fight his way out of a paper bag, but he was an infantry soldier and he made it all the way through. Like, he wasn't a tough guy, but he made it, and so he is a tough guy. What I mean by that, he's not like a physical force, right? But he did it. And, you know, we all are in these situations. So I would say a man or a woman, but like just so, cause I'm going to read it, I'm just going to say the man, if you don't mind. But you know, this is back in the when he wrote this, and he was pretty much a Renaissance man. If you didn't know, he had believed in a lot of different things, and he says a man must. He was really into personal development, which is interesting. And you'd have to be. He was like 5-star general. They don't even allow generals to be 5 stars now. And he said a man must know his destiny. If he does not recognize it, then he is lost. By this I mean once, twice, or at the very most 3 times, fate will reach out and tap a man on the shoulder. If he has the imagination, he will turn around and fate will point out to him what fork in the road he should take. And if he has the guts, he will take it. And this is your opportunity now. Maybe you weren't thinking stuff. Maybe you're like, I don't know, someone, whatever. Get over your baloney, and you know, and this could be your chance. When I decided to leave my previous network marketing business, I didn't need to leave it, but I was like, man, if I'll miss this opportunity of a lifetime. And we've already, you know, we've already gone across all the gravel and all that kind of stuff. You guys can run over our backs. We made it a lot better track for you to run on now, and an opportunity that sits in front of you with a company that offers you, it's going to offer you stock if you hit the numbers. If you do things, you could even buy the stock now. That's a whole nother income stream. I missed that opportunity with USANA on the stock. I could have made like $2.4 million. Heck, if I would have taken a loan for 100 grand, I would have made $24 million. Okay. That's a side thing. And I still created a multiple 6-figure income from that business. And that was one of my key moments. My other one was basically starting ARIIX. Now it's taking it to the next level. And so we want to bring as many of you with us. And today, people want a new opportunity. I would focus in the nutrition, weight loss. The new skincare line is going to be something very, very cool. And there's going to be a lot more opportunities, but people want new opportunity, and they want that opportunity to change their life. And so make that decision, get started with this if you haven't. And, you know, I just want to say, I wish you guys the best. Sorry it went long, but like it was destined to, I guess.
Oh, we are so thankful that you did go long. I mean, there are so many gems. If you're on this, you need to get copies of this. Listen to it again. Number 1, overcome your own stuff. Number 2, don't worry about what other people think. Number 3, the driver is ARIIX. And number 4, take this opportunity, and take this chance. Don't sit on the sidelines. Now is the time to make it happen. And so if you are on this call, somebody invited you because they believe in you. And if they believed in you, we believe in you. And we are a team. We do this together. I mean, I want you to understand this. Steve Swartz is a leader in the industry. We're not on his team. He just...
Yeah, you are. You're on ARIIX. You're on my team.
That's right. And he is here to help us, and he believes in us. And that's what I love about ARIIX. We're a family. It doesn't make any difference. Once you're in the family, you're not getting out. Sorry, you're stuck with us. So get back to the person who invited you. If you have any questions, we're all here for you. And have a wonderful night, and do not miss this, because I have one question for you. Are you ready to get started? Have a wonderful night. Thank you, Steve, so much.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care, everybody.